Here now, our brothers Ronnie ROSSON and Chris Baker.
Good morning. Like I say, we're glad to be gathered back out with you. We'll thank God for another day that He's given us. And I got Brother Kevin Bryant with us this morning. We'll turn him loose here just in a minute. Let him bring what the Lord's given him. Our prayer would be that if you're out there and you don't know Jesus Christ and the free pardon of sin, today is your day. He said today was the day of salvation, so don't you ever think that it ain't your day. If you've not been saved, the Lord's knocking at your heart. I believe that with all my heart, and you have an opportunity to be saved. I'm going to go to the Lord in prayer. Got a lot of requests this morning in my heart. I don't have to go down through the list. God knows all about it. You just pray, and when all goes well with you, you pray for me. I can use your prayers. You're most kind and gracious. Heavenly Father, we thank you, sweet Jesus, for another day that you've given us. Dear God, I pray that you'd be with the messenger this morning as he bring the message. Dear God, that you'd give him what we need. Dear Lord, knowing, sweet Jesus, that so many times we fail and come short of your glory, but I don't want to use that as an excuse just to say, well, I'm human and I can't help it. I know that you told me that I was to strive to be like you. And I pray, sweet Jesus, that you'd help me to guide my feet and put me on the right path. Help me, Lord, to lead, guide, and direct me in all matters, in all ways. Everything in my life, Lord, that I'd turn it over to you and that I'd depend on you. You told us plainly in your word that if I put you first, all else would follow. And I pray, Lord, that that's where I have you. And I've got you right in the center of my heart. And you're first in my life. Oh, dear God, how I do love you. And you told me plainly that if I loved you, I'd keep your commandments. And I pray, sweet Jesus, that I'm found doing thy will, Lord. Not my will, but yours be done in my life. Please, God, I pray, as it is in heaven that way, I'll be that way in earth. Please, God, I pray, sweet Jesus, that you'd help us. And all these favors we ask in your precious and heavenly name. Amen. Come on, kid.
Like I say, I'm thankful to be out again. Thankful for another opportunity that he's given us. Thankful for what he's done for me in my life. And I'm thankful this morning and that for saving my soul. You know, because without that, I'd have nothing.
That's right.
You know, but if I had a thought in it this morning, it would be in that, are you worthy? And then, do you judge that yourself worthy in it this morning? I got some scripture I'm going to read. It says, and when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him, and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. And sit here and answered, and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak, the word only, and my servant shall be healed. As far as I feel like doing. But you know, and that only thing I know to do this morning, that just press my way to it.
Amen.
And if there's any preaching done, then it'll be from him, and then it won't be from me. And you know, and that just, now I think about my life, and there's so much, and that Ronnie, and that what he's done, and that for me in my life, and Chris, and that how much, and that he just helped me, and knowing that I would be nothing, and that in my life, and knowing that I'd never do nothing, and that no good, and that for him, and knowing that I was nothing but garbage, and that to him, and sitting at the best that I could offer him, and that was filthy rags, and that this morning, and that but I'm going to tell you, and that them filthy rags, and that was enough, and that for him, and that to you, and that it's enough, and that just enough, and that to get me from life, and that to from death to life, and that listen this morning, and that are you worthy, and that what, and that he's got in store for you this morning.
Thank you, Jesus.
And then it said Jesus came in there into the city and said that a centurion and that sought him out. And then listen, and then let me tell you a little backstory and that on the centurions. And that they was the leader and that of the church. And that they wanted to do away with Jesus. They didn't want nothing to do with him. And that, you know who else? And that was a centurion, and that it was Nicodemus. And that he was one of them. And that listen, and that this was sought him out. And that the ones that didn't believe in him, and that the ones and that didn't want nothing to do with him, Chris, and that I know, and that Ronnie, if I don't want anything to do with you, then I won't leave you alone. I ain't gonna show my face and that to you. Never listen. He knew that there was something different. He knew, and that there was something different about this man. Not even know, and that he didn't want nothing to do with him. He still needed help this morning.
Amen.
He said that he came to him and he told him, he said, my servant is at home. He said he lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus told him, he said, I will come and heal him. And the centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof. Like this, speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. Now listen, and that Jesus said was going to be on his way, and that to go to this man's house. Now he was going to make effort, and that just to show him. And that was the centurion told him. He said, listen, he said, I ain't worthy, and I ain't worthy, and I ain't no good. And that this morning, now all I need you to do, now speak the word, and I know that you'll be, that you'll heal him. Now I wasn't worthy, and that for him to come down to me, then all I needed him to do. That will speak the word. That even when I was out, and I did a bunch of mess, even when I was doing nothing, and then for him, when I was that gone, that's gone to me, that on the road, and at the hell this morning, that he came to me. But you know that I'm thankful this morning. I'm thankful even though that I'm unworthy this morning, he still counted me worthy. And that he still counted in that my filthy rags and that worthy this morning. Now when I came and offered him everything I had, and that I didn't have, and that nothing and that in my pockets, I didn't have no money. You pray. Didn't have no money to offer him. Didn't have nothing in this world and that to offer him.
That's right.
And that but my filthiness. That but my filthiness, and that was just worthy in that one day. And that one day, and that when I knelt down and cried out, and that to an Almighty God, and cried out, and that needed help, and that I was just worthy, and that because he called on my name, he sought me out. Now listen, I wanted it so bad that I couldn't stand it, that Ronnie, but I couldn't get it until he sought me out.
Amen. Conviction has to come.
I'm thankful that he sought me out this morning. Thankful and that my filthiness and that was just worthy this morning.
Yep.
And that I'm here to tell you this morning that if you're waiting and that for yourself and that to be worthy and that to come into Him, that you're going to wait yourself right into hell this morning. Now I was always told that plain talk is easily understood. Now listen this morning. If you're waiting and that for some big thing to happen and that for you to that just magically and that be worthy and that the Almighty King this morning, that you just keep on waiting. Because that waiting, that ain't going to happen. That time ain't never going to come. Never listen. If you would show yourself that humble as a child and be honest with Him, listen, He will save you this morning.
Amen.
You will be judged worthy this morning.
Amen. Amen.
But are you judged worthy? Are you worthy this morning? Was your filthiness and that this morning worthy and that of eternal life? You know, and that my filthiness and that was traded in and that for something so much better this morning. We said, well, preacher, you're not perfect. No, I'm not. Never listen. One day after a while, and I'm going to hit in that perfection. I'm not perfect this morning, that by no means, and I don't claim to be, and that I'll probably screw up by the time I walk out this door this morning. But listen, that this morning, that if you're waiting and that for some big miraculous thing and that to happen and that to judge you worthy, and that I'm telling you, you're waiting. Because that ain't never going to happen.
That's right.
That if you're waiting and that for something and that to happen in your life and that to just get you ready and that to come to church and that you're waiting and that it ain't never going to happen and that I've heard and that all week seems like and that I'm just too far gone that I can't get back that I'm just too mean and that God won't have nothing to do with me no more. Now, but I'm here to tell you this morning that Ronnie, there was nobody that was meaner than me that I know of. That I was meaner than any junkyard dog you ever met in your life. But He still judged me worthy.
Amen.
All I had to do when that was make an effort.
That's right.
That the centurion, and that even though that the Jews and that probably hated them, and that they were still judged worthy. Now listen, if they got Jesus, they was judged worthy this morning.
Yep.
The centurion made an effort. The centurion made an effort this morning to get to Jesus. He knew, he said, I just know if you'll speak that word, that he will be saved. Now listen this morning, all he has to do is speak the word this morning. Now, he wants you to put forth an effort.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to break your arm. He's not going to smack you in the back of the head this morning to make you get up.
He's going to beat you.
But he will call your name out.
Amen.
All you have to do is ask him to.
That's right.
This morning, and if you're waiting on a train and to come to make you worthy and that you're just waiting, that train ain't never going to come.
No.
Well, listen, if you're waiting on something that to happen, that's where you can get better, and that this morning and that get back to church, and that you're waiting, it ain't never going to happen.
No.
That you're in a waiting game this morning.
No.
You know, I always heard that old expression, wait's what broke the wagon down this morning. That don't break your wagon down this morning. And that because I'm here to tell you that when time is shut, and that mercy door is closed, and that there won't be no more opportunity.
That's right.
And that to be judged worthy. That to have you took, and that you're offering that to the Master this morning. Listen, have you took, and that you're offering, and that a filthiness, and that to His throne, and that this morning, that just talk to Him this morning, that the centurion made an effort, that to go talk to Him. He said, listen, I know that you can do this. I've heard of what you can do. That this morning you've heard, and that what Jesus can do this morning, that you've heard, and that what He's got in store for you. That's a why. And that are you so what? Why? And are you waiting that so long this morning?
That's true, Lord.
Why are you waiting this morning? You know, if the centurion had waited that just a little bit longer, I believe he wouldn't have seen Jesus.
That's right.
You know, you're reading that just a little bit before that, there was a great multitudes around him. Everywhere he went. Just like that woman with the issue of blood said there was a great multitude around her, around him, that she had to get through there somehow. And this morning, listen, and that there's not nobody in it around you this morning. But you still got to press your way to it.
That's right.
I don't know anybody's life this morning. Don't want to know better than on my own. But I do know this. When time comes and that you ain't got Jesus in your life, when the time comes and you ain't been judged worthy and that of your filthiness and that it ain't been judged worthy and that this morning and that where do you stand? I'll tell you where you stand. You stand in the one that's going to hell this morning. Said that hell and that is God and that the broad path and that leads to destruction and that it says there's going to be a lot that's going to be there. And then listen and that there's going to be in that a small way and that on the other hand that and that the ones and that it was judged worthy and that the ones that he called out by name and that called out and that judged them worthy that no matter what was going on in their life judged them worthy this morning. And said there's going to be few that'll be there finding.
That's right.
Now this morning, which side and that of the hand are you on this morning? If you took your filthiness and that before God, and that this morning you said, well, preacher, I thought I was supposed to clean myself up. And that before I came and talked to him, and that you can't do nothing in that this morning. Now, that only thing you can do, and that is go to him and let him take care of it.
That's right.
Now look down and then all throughout the Bible, and there were people that tried to take care of themselves. And then look at Jonah, that when he went and tried to do it on his own. And then what he made of it. Now look, and then Peter, and then when he stepped out on the water, and then when he took his eyes off Jesus, now what happened to him? Now look at all these people that throughout the Bible. They tried to do it on their own. Now I know you tried it this morning. You said, well, preacher, how do you know my life? I just know that you tried it.
Yeah. I hear it.
I've been there.
Yep.
I've been there, done that.
Me too.
Lived it. This
morning. I won't wait.
I've lived it. But there comes a time when you're going to have to take responsibility.
Yeah. Amen.
There comes a time when you're going to have to take responsibility, and that's for what you've done. And that you know it comes down, and that's plain talk, and that this morning, either you're saved or you're lost. That's it. Either you're worthy or you're not worthy this morning. Either you brought your filthiness before him, or you've still got hold of it this morning. And that's as plain as it gets. That's as plain as it gets. When it comes down to black and white, on paper, where do you stand this morning? Huh? When it comes your time to die this morning, where do you stand with him? Huh? If I didn't know, and that Brother Ronnie, if I was up here preaching and I didn't know, I'd be crying and that out to him, that an Almighty God.
Amen.
And that, you know, and it's just so a preacher, and that, shouldn't you know? Well, yeah, I should know, and that, but if there ever come a time and that I didn't know, or if there ever come a time and I was standing in that behind this, and that sacred desk, and he showed me that I was lost, and that I wasn't saved, and then I'm telling you what this morning, that I wouldn't let pride get in my way. You know, I'm just foolish enough in it to follow him this morning. But where do you stand this morning? Are you judged worthy or are you not judged worthy? I'll turn back over to Brother.
Bless his heart. Tell you what, he's asked you a question. Search your heart. Where do you stand? I thought as he was talking there, and I thought about how that he made it real plain. You know, conviction has to come before you can realize that you're lost. And you can't be saved until you know you're lost. Let me tell you, when Jesus speaks to you, you'll know it. And you'll know you're lost the minute he does. You'll know it, and you'll carry that until you do something about it. Now, I was so glad as he was talking about being worthy. You know, I couldn't help but think John the Baptist was down there, and he sent two of his disciples on down. He said, you go down there and you ask Jesus if he's the man we look for, or should we look for another?
Yeah.
You know how he answered him.
Yeah.
He said, he started telling them saw this, and you saw this, and you saw this miracle, and this miracle, and this miracle, and you go back and you tell John about them. Well, what more do you need to know? I'm telling you, when the woman that he talked about that pressed through the crowd, the reason she was pressing through the crowd is because she had saw the miracles of God be worked, and she knew that he was real. She knew what he could do. She knew without a shadow of a doubt that if she could just get to the hem of his garment, she'd be healed. She believed that. And if you're not willing to believe it, listen to me. Salvation comes through your heart believing in righteousness. I'm telling you, with your mouth confessing unto faith, unto salvation through faith. It takes faith. Without it, you don't have anything. So if you don't believe that he is and will be and always has been the undivided, the first begotten Savior of the world, then you ain't got what I've got.
Amen. Amen.
You ain't got what Kevin's talked about this morning. He's talking about searching your heart. I'll tell you, listen to me. There's been people that I've known, heard of them being way up in their years, and taught Sunday school and taught Bible schools and everything else, and come up and not be saved. Not be saved. Listen, if the devil gets you to believing that you have it,
That's right.
he's got you.
Amen.
He's got you.
Amen.
And if he's got you, listen to me. The last church that it talks about in the book of Revelations, when them 7 churches is wrote out, I can't say the name. I can't even pronounce the name. But it's the very last one. But anyway, it talks about them being lukewarm. And said if they were, that he'd spew them out.
Right.
Listen to me. It's just like he said, when it comes down to black and white, there's no gray. You can't have one foot in the world and one in the church. You can't put one foot on one side of the fence and one on the other. You can't be, I'm going to be on fire for God on Sunday, and then on Monday and Tuesday, I'm kind of just maybe partly here. And then on Friday night, I'm going to be down at the bar, and Saturday night, I'm going to have fun racing my cars or whatever, and then Sunday, I'm going to shout the praises of God. It don't work like that. You'll either be God's child all the time, or you ain't God's child. You're either in or you're out. You're saved or you're lost. And if you tell me that you're 99% sure that you're saved, I'm going to tell you you're lost. Because you better be 100% sure that you've got God in your heart and brought yourself a living sacrifice under God, holy and acceptable unto Him. He's talking about our righteousness being as filthy rags. That's what the book teaches me. But he also told me to bring that to him. Offer it to him. Give it to him. Don't just offer it, but tell him it's his. Let him use it the way he wants to use it.
Amen.
Even Jesus, he showed us the perfect example when he came into the garden and he got down and he began to pray. He was calling out on God. He said, Lord, if it be thy will, let this cup pass from me. He didn't really want to have to go to the cross. He didn't want to have to do that. He didn't want to have to be beaten and his beard pulled out. He didn't want all of that. He didn't want to have to take the sins of the world upon him. But this is where it gets good.
Amen. Man.
He was willing to give everything he had to the Father. He said, not my will, Lord, but thy will be done in me. Listen, have you ever paid attention to what he said in the Lord's Prayer? He said, he was talking there, and he don't say on the earth, he says in the earth. He's talking about in us.
Amen.
He's talking about in us. What do you want loose in heaven? What do you want bound?
Amen.
Whatever you want loose, you loose it here. And the only way you can loose it is to loose it through you. That's the only way we have. It's got to come right through our hearts. It's got to come through us. We are the living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. We've got to live for the Lord. If we're not living for God, guess what? We're living for the devil. If you're not giving God 100%, that means that you're giving part of it to the devil.
Amen.
And that won't work.
That's right. Amen.
I'll tell you, our people, we've got it all confused. I will tell them, if you've done this, this, and this, you don't need to come down here till you get this worked out with God. I'm going to tell you what, if you fall and break your arm, I want to ask you a question. Are you going to try to set it yourself and try to wrap it up and bind it down and then go to the doctor to find out if it's fixed or not? Listen to me, that ain't the way it works. No, sir. You go to the doctor to get it set back in place, and he's the one that puts it in the old cast and takes care of it.
Amen.
Jesus Christ is the great physician.
Yeah, he is. Amen.
And the hospital is down there on the hill.
Yeah.
If you're wanting fixed, you come to the hospital. Amen. You come looking for the great physician. I guarantee you, he'll be there. If you're looking for him, you can find him. And listen to me, and just because some of these churches now, I'm just going to tell it like it is. There's a lot of them, they're playing church, and they don't know who God is. But if you come looking for him, they might get introduced too, because you'll bring him with you. They need to know who he is. I'm telling you what, we've got a bunch of them nowadays. They'll holler, oh, how I love Jesus, but they don't even know who Jesus even is. If you come in and you shout the praises of God a little bit, or you get happy, they might call the law on you, or get plumb tore up and have the ushers to help you to the back. Oh, wait a minute, let me get my pamphlet out. I've got to tell you what we're going to sing this morning, and how we're going to preach, and what we're going to preach on. I want to know something. If Jesus shows up, are you going to turn him loose? Will you let him do what he wants to do?
Amen.
Boy, oh boy. What are we doing to our people?
Amen.
What are we doing? I'll tell you what. If we're leading them down the road of destruction, guess what? Their blood's going to fall on our hands. And we're going to answer for that.
Amen.
We're going to answer for that. Listen to me. People says, well, preacher, do you believe once you saved, you're always saved? Yes, I do. So I'm not telling you that I'm going to lose my salvation. It ain't going nowhere. Not if I've truly gotten it. And I think that's the biggest key to it all. I think we got a whole lot of people that's a hollering, Lord, Lord, that don't know him at all. They've never been introduced to the man I know is Jesus Christ. I don't know him. Not at all. They've not never met him, but they're hollering, I've been saved, and they don't know him at all. I'll tell you what, but if you got him,
Amen.
you still got him,
Amen.
and he ain't went nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you what he can do. He said that he wouldn't always strive with man. I'm telling you, if you get out of the will of God, you'll find yourself just like David was when he was laying down there, face down in the sand for 7 days, praying out to God, please forgive me, Lord. He was wanting to be forgiven.
Yeah, he was.
And what's he tell us plainly in his word? He said just as plain as day. He said, restoring to me the joys of thy salvation, Lord.
Amen.
Not mine, but yours. It belongs to you, God, and not me.
Amen.
Thank God. If it belonged to me, I'd lose it
I
for
lost
sure.
it a long time ago.
I'm like, Brother Kevin, if there was ever a chief sinner, I was there. I'm like Paul. I was the chief sinner. It's just the way I feel. He'd have to scoot over and give me an oar, Kevin. You just have to let me in the boat, because I'm just as bad off as anybody. I'll just tell you. Oh boy. But I'll just tell you what. I think we need to be honest with our people.
Amen.
Just tell them the truth.
Amen.
If you're a sinner, you're just a sinner.
Amen.
Guess what? You're in the same boat that I was in.
Amen.
You're in the same boat I'm still in, because all I am is a sinner saved by grace.
Amen.
I'm covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. And when I got salvation, it was sealed to the day of redemption.
Amen.
And it ain't going nowhere. I've still got it, and it ain't went away. And we're running out of time. Oh boy, Kevin. I didn't have intentions of saying too much. Stirred me up. Worthy. Are we worthy? No, we're not. But I know a man that is, and I'm glad. I'm glad I was introduced to him. I'm glad I know who he is.
Amen.
I'm glad that them old preachers didn't care to tell me that I was just a sinner and I needed Jesus Christ to be saved.
Amen.
And that I was going to hell if I didn't change my ways.
Amen.
They didn't cut me no slack. They didn't try to candy coat it for me. They just said, you're wrong.
Amen.
You're a sinner. Guess what? You're in the same place I was. Now let me help you out.
Yep.
I'm going to say prayer. I think we come to the end of the show. Your most kind and gracious and heavenly Father, Lord, please, somebody out there this morning is needing to check themselves. And they're not worthy. Now they need to understand that. They're not without you. Just come unto you, that they just come to you and just turn it over to you and not be afraid of the churches. Come on in. It's where the hospital's at. It's where you're at. It's where you're wanting to fix us. Oh, please help us, Lord, to spread the news. You're coming, and you're coming soon. I believe that with all my heart. To gather your children to take us home. Please, God, we pray. Help us, sweet Jesus. All these favors I ask in Jesus' sweet name. Amen.